traffic flow, then only motorcycle and car can use. So here it is contraflow because of the road work. So all vehicles this lane if there is no prohibition sign for any vehicle. So C option is the right answer. Any vehicle authorized to drive on the road with roadworks unless expressly prohibited from doing so. How can you employ defensive driving techniques? Defensive driving techniques protect you from all kind of accidents. What is defensive driving techniques? A. By reducing your distance from the vehicle in front without increasing the level of risk. Quickly to unforeseen events or by saving fuel. So now you can understand it's not only making safety distance more or by saving fuel you can increase the driving defensive driving techniques. You have to observe, you have to perceive your surroundings. If you are not doing mistake, any other driver can do a mistake. So to avoid that kind of accident due to the mistake of other drivers, you have to react quickly to unforeseen event. So B option, by reacting quickly to unforeseen event, is the correct answer for this question. Where should you place a portable GPS device in just behind the steering wheel, at the driver's eye level, B under the steering wheel as close to the floor as possible, and C in a place where it does not impact your vision or deployment of the airbag. The GPS should be placed properly while driving, and we don't need to move our vision a lot while looking at the GPS, and it should not block the way of airbag. So the option C is the correct answer for this question. The driver of a car must drive with the vehicle lights turned on. When do you have to turn on the lights of the vehicle? It is a general rule that between sunset and sunrise you have to turn on the lights of your vehicle, or in case of poor visibility also. But here we have option C, between sunset and sunrise. That is the correct answer for this question. Is it permitted to reverse if you intend to park? Normally the reversing process is not allowed, but in case of parking you have to allow up to the length of 15 meters, not more than 15 meters you can reverse. So let's check the option. Option A is yes, the necessary distance, even though I exceed 15 meters. See here, it is exceeding 15 meters, so it is wrong. B, no, it is prohibited. It is not prohibited while parking. And the C, the yes, no more than 15 meters. So that is the correct answer for our question C. The prohibition to travel at a speed over the speed indicated by the traffic sign ends. We have three options. Only when you reach the sign end of speed limitation, when you go beyond the stretch controlled by a traffic light, or only when you reach the sign of maximum speed. Here you can see there are two vertical signs. One is of danger because of the traffic light. Another one below that is a maximum speed limit. So whenever you see this types of sign. The speed limit is showing is because are coming. So you have to reduce the speed over there in the stretch of traffic light till you go beyond the traffic light. So the option B is the correct answer for this question. When you go beyond the stretch light or when you cross it, then after that you are not obliged for that maximum speed limit sign. It is only for that stretch, 20 kilometers per hour.
Tu modo sport. Tu Sportage.
Nuevo Kia Sportage. Kia. Movement that inspires.
Enterogermina, el único probiótico con inteliesporas. Hasta el 100% de las inteliesporas sobreviven. Una vez en el intestino, se activan y nutren la flora intestinal. Inteliesporas de enterogermina.
If you want to drive safely, what is the best way to stave off tiredness when it affects you? Stop for a rest and sleep for as long as necessary. Ventilate the inside of the vehicle well. Have an energy drink. What is the best way to stave off tiredness? How can we get rid of tiredness? The only and the best solution is rest and sleep, but as long as necessary. And another way, if you are going for a long drive, you should take rest after every 2 hours or after every 200 kilometers. So here we have option A, stop for a rest and sleep for as long as necessary, which is the correct answer for this question. In general, drivers with symptoms of allergy have A. Greater difficulty in maintaining their concentration. B. A diminished sense of sleepiness. Or C. Greater capacity to react to unexpected situations. They can't react with the greater capacity to react to the unexpected situation because they are already suffering with the symptoms of allergy. So, drivers with the symptoms of allergy have great difficulty in maintaining their concentration. So, it is to make you aware that during allergy symptoms, you should be careful if you are going to drive anywhere. You should consult with your doctor with all the medications and the effect of those medications. You should know about all the things. So here the correct answer is option A, greater difficulty in maintaining their concentration is the correct answer. During a maneuver to overtake a moped, when is it mandatory to occupy all of the adjoining lane, moving fully into the other lane? See, now we have three options over here. When the road has trafficable hard shoulder, that is not possible in all cases. And the C is when the road has more than one lane in each direction. Earlier, there was a rule whenever you overtake two-wheeled vehicle like a cycle or a moped or a pedestrian, you have to leave the gap of 1.5 meters between you and two wheelers. But now there is another rule example, if you have two lanes in your direction, on this road, for example, you are moving and there is a moped in front and you are going to overtake. So you have to completely move in the adjacent lane. Don't have to leave only the gap of 1.5 meter. You have to move completely in the left lane. So the option C is the correct answer when the road has more than one lane in each direction. You have to change your lane also to overtake a moped. If the technical inspection roadworthiness test of your vehicle is unfavorable, what must you do? Temporarily deregister the vehicle until the faults have been repaired, which is not correct. How can we temporarily deregister? B option, repair the detected faults so that the vehicle can be tested again. C, go immediately to another ITV station in order to compare the results. If your technical inspection is unfavorable, it is better to detect the faults and repair and go for the test again. B option is the right answer for this question. What is this driver indicate? The vehicle will drive on a right turn or a left turn. Look at this picture. His arm is vertically up and the face towards in front. If in case your vehicle's signals or the light system is not working, you can give the sign with your arms. An arm signal is prior to over the light vehicles of the vehicle. So, but what is the meaning of this vertical arm and the palm facing front? This indicates that the vehicle is going to turn right, towards right. So the option B is the correct answer for this question. The state of the vehicle affects A, braking distance, B, reaction time, C, reaction distance. The reaction time and the reaction distance are depend on the state of driver, or it depends on us. So it cannot affect the state of vehicle, cannot affect on reaction time or reaction distance. It has nothing to do with these things. Braking distance on which the state of vehicle can affect. For example, if the tire conditions are not good, if the shock absorber are in a bad condition, or brake oil is not sufficient, so it can affect on a braking distance. Braking distance will increase. It is a picture of entrance of the garage, and both sides it is clearly indicated that no parking in front of the garage. So it is no option is the right answer for this question. You cannot park in front of the entrance of the garage. If you are not able to drive safely because you are under the influence of prescription medicines, are you permitted to drive? You are not at all permitted to drive if you are under the influence of prescription medicines. So we don't have to choose any option or see any option, only no, B straight away we can mark as a correct. That's all for part 15. Let's catch up more in the next one. Please don't forget to subscribe the channel if you like, and you can send the queries to my WhatsApp number 638132820. Thank you very much. Bye for now. See you soon.
que vale oro para ti es tener energía para todo lo que te propongas. Hay un Solgar para ti. O es sentirte tú misma, sin filtros. También hay un Solgar para ti. Sea cual sea tu momento de oro, hay un Solgar para ti. Solgar. Find your gold.
Hello friends, welcome to the part 16 of Spanish driving theory test in English. First question of part 16. What does this sign mean? As you can see, it is a prohibition. In this sign, they are indicating you that you can't drive, or there is a prohibition to drive without maintaining the minimum distance. We have options A, minimum separation, B, traffic congestion, and C, overtaking prohibited. But here it is a sign of minimum distance between two vehicles. Whenever we drive, we have to keep the safety distance that is known as minimum separation. What is minimum distance or a separation? That is safety distance while traveling in case of sudden brake, your vehicle do not collide with the vehicle traveling in front. So the option A is the correct answer for this question. Minimum separation. There is prohibition to drive without maintaining the minimum separation. Next question. What is the purpose of rumble strips located on the edge of the carriageway that alert drivers with vibration, and sound if they get distracted and drift from their lane? As you can see in the picture, there are rumble strips located on the edge of the carriageway. We have three options. They improve the visibility of a lane boundaries in low lighting condition. They reduce the number of accidents caused by roadway departures. They mark stretches of road where driving on the hard shoulder is prohibited. Now we see in the picture the strips on the road. Look, they sound like this. And these strips with this sound alert drivers when they get distracted from the lane. So the option, they reduce the number of accidents caused by departures. Next question. In view of this sign, can we drive our car in the right lane? A is yes. B, yes, but giving preference to motorcycle. No, it is reserved for cycle. As you can see in the picture, the obligation of cyclist in the first or the right lane. So it is reserved for cyclists. Any other vehicle is not allowed to enter or to travel in this lane. So the option C is the correct answer for this question. No, it is reserved for the cycles. Are you permitted to drive a motor vehicle if the silencer is damaged and therefore does not work effectively? A option, no, because of the noise pollution that it causes. B, no, except for motorcycle which do not need silencer. C, yes, but you can only drive on interurban road. As we know that it is very simple, it is option A, no, because of the noise pollution that it causes. If the silencer is damaged, it will definitely cause. We are not allowed to drive a vehicle with a damaged silencer. Next question. An emergency vehicle is using its flashing beacons, but the acoustic signal is not turned on. Does it have a priority? Emergency vehicles have always priority whenever they are using a single sign, like over here, it is using only the flashing beacons, but they have to be very careful that it should not cause any danger to the other road user. So now we can read the options. Option A is only when the emergency vehicle is a public emergency medical service. B, no, because they should always use the flashing warning light and the siren simultaneously. It is not compulsory to use together. Yes, C, yes, provided that not using the siren does not involve a hazard to the rest of the road user. The C option is the correct answer for this question. Next is, if your low beam lights fail, can you drive on a poorly lit non-urban road with high beams? Non-urban roads, that means that we are on the inter-urban road. So we are allowed to turn on the high beam lights. But we have to be careful that it does not dazzle any other road users. So let's check the options. A, yes, while avoiding dazzling other road users. B is yes, provided that the hazard lights are on. C is no. So the option A is the right answer for this question. Yes, while avoiding dazzling other road users. We can use the high beam lights. Do medicinal products have the same side effects in every person who takes them? Option A, yes, but only in prolonged treatments. B, no, their effects vary according to the personal and physical circumstances of every person. C, yes, always. The effect of medicine varies person to person and it is not same in all persons. So the option B is the correct answer for this question. No, their effects may vary according to the personal and physical circumstances of every person. What does this traffic sign mean? A, you are approaching an area with the snow on the road. B, it indicates that there could be ice on the road. C, in case of snow, you cannot exceed the specified speed. The vertical sign together and the panel below the speed limit sign indicates about the presence of snow. So the option C is the correct answer. In case of snow, the vertical sign, the panel indicates the sign of snow. So in case of snow, you cannot exceed the specified limit. Like 60 kilometers is the maximum speed limit if there is a snow on the road. A vehicle constructed to carry goods with a cab integrated into its body and with a maximum of 9 seats, including the driver, is known as, it is very simple, it's known as van. Just remember this thing. Next is, while driving, you notice a strong smell of petrol coming from your vehicle. What should you do? A, not worry about it as this is due to the smell of the exhaust gases. B, stop at safe place and contact roadside assistant. Or C, keep driving because the smell will go away after few kilometers.
What?
You have
What?
to stop at a safe place and contact roadside assistance. Anytime you feel the strong smell of petrol coming from your vehicle, you should stop your vehicle off the road and contact roadside assistance. B option is the right answer for this question. what should we do when we see the sign? In this sign, you can see there is a question mark with the low beam headlights. Low beam headlights, and it is not obligatory. It is in the square. So what is the meaning of question mark? It indicates that if there is a requirement of low beam headlight, for example, we are coming out from the tunnel. Outside the tunnel, you will find these types of signs. So in the tunnel, the low beam headlights are compulsory obligatory. But when we are coming out from the tunnel, we don't know the weather condition. So if the weather condition requires, for example, there are clouds and there is no sunlight, so you may need to turn on the dip beam headlight. So let's check up the option. Turn off low beam lights. Mandatory use of short or long range lights. Keep the crossing lights on if visibility circumstances require it. That is the correct answer. C option is the correct answer for this question. Next is, if the wheel suffers wear on the side of the road of the track, what would it be due to? A. Because the wheels have more pressure than the recommended by the manufacturer. B option is because the wheels have lower pressure than the recommended by the manufacturer. And C, because the shock absorbers are in poor condition. Whenever the wheel wears at sides, it means it is underinflated. The pressure is low. And whenever it wears in the middle, it means that the pressure is higher. So here we have three options: less pressure, more pressure. So the less pressure is the correct answer because the wheels have lower pressure than the recommended by manufacturer. It wears on the sides. Next is, what does this sign mean? A is the prohibition of access to all types of vehicles. B, circulation prohibited to all types of vehicle. C, circulation prohibited to all types of vehicle except bicycle. See, there are two types of signs, so don't get confused between these two signs. In sign number 1, there is entry is completely prohibited. You can't enter where this sign is located. And in number 2, you can pass, but you have to stop first, then you can pass. So here we have question about the sign 1. So it is entry prohibited. Access to all vehicle is prohibited. A option is the right answer for this question.
Eso de la superseguridad de Movistar Prosegura Alarmas, digo yo que no será para tanto.
Te digo que sí.
¿Tú crees?
Yo creo.
¿Tú piensas?
Pienso.
La inteligencia de Iron Man, la valentía de Iron Heart, la fuerza de Iron Hulk, unidas en un equipo imparable. Marvel Iron Man y su super equipo.
Si vas a conducir, que sea 00 de Hyundai. Esta Black Week conduce un Tucson o cualquier otro modelo de Hyundai con un 0% TAE. Solo durante este mes. Black Week 00 de Hyundai. Cero intereses, cero preocupaciones. Descúbrela en Hyundai.es.
Tengo la nariz taponada y la cabeza como un bombo.
Di adiós con Sinupred Extra.
Nuevo Sinupred.
Next is, as a general rule, who is not required to wear a seat belt when traveling on urban roads? A, taxi drivers when they are on duty. B, pregnant women or or C, children under 16 years of age. So the option, you have to remember this thing, taxi drivers whenever they are on duty but on urban roads. A option is the right answer for this question. Taxi drivers are not obliged to wear the seat belts in urban areas whenever they are on duty. The holder of category B driving license can drive, in addition to cars, A, motorcycles above 125 cc, B, 2 or 3 or 4-wheeled mopeds, or C, any vehicle they are entitled to drive with the category A driving license. What vehicle you can drive with the category B license is only 2, 3 or 4-wheeled mopeds. B option is the right answer for this question. Which of the following item must be carried in all cars? A, a complete spare wheel and the necessary toolkit for changing it. B, a high visibility vest, or C, a fire extinguisher. A high visibility vest is the most important thing which should be carried in all cars in case of emergency, and it should be kept in a place where you can from where you can take it out, or to wear it when you are coming out from your vehicle in case of emergency. So B option is the right answer for this question. Next is, at 9 hours on Monday, from the location of this sign, what is required? A, no stopping or parking. B, stopping permitted but no parking. Or C, parking permitted only to deliver packages. Now again there are two signs, but two vertical signs together. See what is the meaning of the language which is written on the panel. Laborable de 9 a 20 horas excepto carga y descarga. From 9 a.m. in the morning till 8 o'clock in the evening, the parking is not allowed on working days. Parking is prohibited during these hours. Laborables de 9 a 20 horas excepto carga y descarga. So stopping is permitted but parking is prohibited in working days during these hours. So B option, stopping permitted but no parking, is the correct answer for this question. Which vehicles must stop at this intersection? A, the red and the blue ones. B, the green and the red ones. Or C, all of them. Now you can see in the picture that there are two traffic lights. So the left sign is for the vehicle which is in the left lane and in the middle lane. It does not give any impact on the vehicle which is in the right lane. Vehicle in the right lane obey the right signal. If there is no left signal, all the three vehicles will obey the sign which is on the right side. So here the option B is the correct answer. The green and the red vehicle will stop because the left traffic signal is indicating the red signal, so they have to stop, and the vehicle which is on the right can go on the right. Parking is prohibited. A, on interurban routes. B, in the vicinity of pedestrian crossing. C, over properly designated entranceway. that we have done this same question in our last part, that properly designated entranceway parking is prohibited over properly designated entranceway, or you can say the garage. In front of garage, you can park your vehicle. C option is the right answer for this question. Is it dangerous for a car to drive side by side with a two-wheeled vehicle? Yes, of course, it is dangerous. But see, let's check up how it is dangerous. A. No, there is no danger of accident if vehicles drive side by side. This is absolutely wrong. B. Yes, you run the risk of not seeing it because it may be in the blind spot in your rear view mirror. And C. Only if you are speeding. So the option A and C are absolutely wrong. B option is the right answer. The vehicles, two-wheeled vehicles, may be on the blind spot. What is a blind spot? Blind spot is a place which you cannot see in your rear view mirror while driving your car. So there may be chances of accident. These vehicles may be on the blind spot. So it is very risky and dangerous to drive side by side with a two-wheeled vehicle. B option is the correct answer for this question. When must a vehicle is joining traffic give way? The vehicle is going to join the traffic is obliged to give way always, because the vehicle which are already traveling on the road have priority over the vehicles which is going to join. So here we have three options. A, always. B, only when entering from the right. Or C, only when entering from the left. Whether it is entering from the right or left doesn't matter. It is going to join. So it has to give way always. A option is the right answer. In road safety terms, why is it better to drive on urban roads at 30 km per hour instead of 50 km per hour? See, we know that in urban area there are more pedestrians than in urban areas, and the chances of collision are more. So we should drive at a lower speed, and a vehicle pedestrian collision is less likely to be fatal. It is less dangerous when you are driving at a lower speed. So let's check up the option A, because the aerodynamic drag is greater at 30 km than 50 km. That is not related to it. B, because traffic flows more freely and there is no risk of accident. There is always a risk of accident. So it is also wrong. C, because at a lower speed, a vehicle pedestrian collision is less likely to be fatal. Yes, this is the right answer for this question. C. If you plan a trip before setting off, can this affect road safety? A. Yes, it is a behavior that conflicts with road safety. B. Yes, it is a positive road safety behavior. And C. No, it is a behavior that does not affect road safety. If you plan your trip, it would be safer for you and for roads both. So it is a positive road safety behavior. B option is the right answer. As a general rule, the effect of alcohol are greater. A. 3 hours after consumption, between 30 and 90 minutes after consumption. C. Immediately after consumption. The effect of alcohol is greater, or maximum you can say, after 60 minutes. At 60 minutes it is at the peak. After 60 minutes goes down. So here the option B you can choose as a correct answer. Between 30 and 90 minutes after consumption, the effect of alcohol are greater. Who has the right of way when an overtaking vehicle sees that the vehicle ahead of it has its left indicator on, intending to overtake? Whenever we are traveling and when we see the vehicle in front has already started the maneuver of overtaking and the left indicator is on, so the priority of is that vehicle which is with indicator on. So because it has already indicated the road users that he or she is going to overtake. So we can check the option. The vehicle which is traveling faster is wrong. B, the vehicle with its indicator on is the correct option. C, the vehicle which first moves left. That is not the correct way. The correct way is which vehicle has turned on its indicator first. So B option is the right answer over here. Can traffic accidents in which fatigue is the main risk factor occur during daylight hours? Yes, of course, it can be dangerous during daylight hours also. It is not only the night when the fatigue affects on the driving, it is daylight hours also, and that also between 2 and 4 o'clock in the afternoon. So here we have options. A, no, they only occur at night. B, yes, but it is a type of accident that only affects professional drivers. And C, yes, especially between 2 and 4 o'clock in the afternoon. C option is the right answer for this question. So that's all for the part 6. Good friends, welcome to the Spanish driving theory test in English part 70. Here, question number 1. On a two-way road with 3 lanes separated by a broken longitudinal marking, where must is so as to change the direction to the left? Now it is a question of two-way road. We have done the question for the one-way road. In case of one-way road, we have seen that the vehicle has to stop in the left lane to turn the left. But here they are asking for the two-way road. So now we see it is a two-way road. One lane of this in the opposite direction of our direction. And we have to turn to the left. So middle lane is the right position to turn the left in case of two-way road. So the option C in the middle lane is the right answer for this question. Next, is it correct to drive on the lane separation lines on this road more than 6 meters wide? A, yes, because there are 2 lanes. B, yes, if there is no oncoming traffic. C, no, a vehicle must drive in its lane. See, the normal width of the lane is 3 meters, but over here it is 6 meters wide. So it is more than enough, and we are not allowed to drive in the other lane or over the lines. So the option C is the right answer for this question. No, a vehicle must drive in its lane. What does this sign means? What the road worker is indicating? We all know that during road work, they are the authorized person and we are obliged to obey them. But here they are asking about what is the meaning of this sign. A. It obliges driver to stop. B. It obliges driver to go straight on. Or C. It obliges driver to make a U-turn. Now look at the sign. This is an obligatory sign and it is showing compulsory direction. So it is indicating us to go straight. So the option B, it obliges driver to go straight on, is the right answer for this question. Next, how far can an indivisible load such as a tube or pole overhang the back of car? It is a question for indivisible load. Indivisible load means you cannot fold it, you cannot turn it. So in that case, how much it is allowed to overhang the back of car? Options are A, 15% of the length of the vehicle, 10% of the length of the vehicle, 1/3 of the length of the vehicle. In case of a divisible like this, it is a foldable. It is allowed 10%. And if it is not divisible, if indivisible, then it is only 15. In that case, it increases to 15%. In case of divisible, it is 10% on the back side. You can see the right picture. And on the left, if it is indivisible, you are allowed to overhang on the back 15%. So the option A is the correct answer, 15% of the length of the vehicle. On the roads out of town, what is the maximum speed at which a car is allowed to drive if it is towing a trailer? We know the speed of car on highways is 120 km and on conventional road it is 90 km. But in case of towing a trailer, it reduces to 90 km on motorway like highway and dual carriageway and 80 kilometers on conventional road. So here the option C is the right answer for this question. 90 kilometers on motorway and dual carriageway and 80 kilometers on conventional road if it is towing a trailer. If the shock absorbers are not working properly, what will be the braking distance of the vehicle be like? What effect does shock absorber on braking distance? A. It will stop sooner, reducing the braking distance. It will stop later, increasing the braking distance. Or C. It will not affect the braking distance. Shock absorbers have very important role in case of braking distance. As we know, the vehicle parts of the vehicle have role in braking distance. After applying the brake, how far it goes, that depends on tires, shock absorbers, brake oil, everything. So it will stop later and the braking distance will increase. So the B option is the right answer. If the shock absorber are not working properly, it will stop later, increasing the braking distance. The reflective vest, where will we take it? Where should we keep the reflective vest so that we can put it on before leaving the vehicle easily? It should be in the reachable condition, on the reachable position, inside the vehicle cabin, so we can put it on before leaving the vehicle. A option is the right answer. In the trunk or it's indifferent, it are not possible. A is the right answer for this question. Can we make an arrest while driving on a highway? Arrest is a stop. Stop. Can you stop on a highway? Yes, there are some conditions in which we can do it, but those are emergency services, emergency conditions, sorry. In case if you are not feeling well, or in case of vehicle breakdown, or any other emergency condition. So we can make an arrest. Arrest is a stop. So here the option A, no, on the highway we will not be able to stop under any circumstances is not the correct answer. B option, yes, but we must use the areas specially enabled for this. It is also not correct. C is the right answer for this question. Yes, we can make an arrest while driving on a highway. What does this sign indicates? This is a prohibition sign. As you can see, it is a circle with a red border, always prohibition sign. But what prohibition? It is indicated inside of the picture. The left hand, you can understand with the left arrow, it is prohibited. But apart from left hand, there is another prohibition in this case. So now just check the options. What are the options? A, obligation to turn left. B, prohibition of changing direction to the left and also of changing direction of the usual one, which is known as U-turn. And C, prohibition only of changing the direction of travel. So now just look at this picture. It is prohibited to turn left and it is also prohibited for the U-turn, the direction of travel. You cannot turn to left, then how can you make a U-turn? It is understood.
Con las nuevas categorías de Vinted, ahora puedes vender muchos más artículos de segunda mano.
Pringles, un sabor que te atrapa. Cuida tu barba con Braun, sin poner todo lo demás en pausa. Recordadora Braun BT9, precisión y 100% control, incluso cuando alguien quiere jugar. Y Braun Series 9 Pro Plus, la elección superior con tecnología única para ayudar a proteger tu piel de la irritación. Braun, Nature by Design.
Cuando estás en el instituto parece que se acaba todo y tener 17 años es el principio.
La ciencia necesita jóvenes que se atrevan a buscar respuestas. ¿Eres tú uno de ellos? Descubre la historia completa en nuestro canal.
So B option is the right answer for this question. You can't take a left turn, neither you can take a U-turn. If we find a child who is crossing the road in a prohibited place, what should we do? A, anticipate the child's position, reactions by moderating the speed, even stopping. B, we will continue acting as we go according to the child's reaction. C, we will continue our march whistling at him so that he realizes his mistake. Child cannot realize, or you can understand it is not allowed to whistle or horn. So the option A, anticipate the child's possible reaction. We have to anticipate because of preventive or etiquette driving, it is our duty to anticipate the surroundings. So we have to anticipate the child's possible reaction by moderating the speed and even stopping if required. A is the right answer. From this statement, what you can see in the picture. A, it is advisable not to exceed 30 km per hour and pedestrians will have priority. B, it is prohibited to exceed 30 km and pedestrian will have priority. As it is residential street, the maximum speed will be 30 km per hour. Zona and the prohibition of speed, that is maximum allowed speed 30 km. You can't exceed maximum this indicated speed. So this is prohibited. So the answer B, it is prohibited to exceed 30 km per hour, and in case of zona, if it is written over there, pedestrians will have priority. So the B option is the right answer for this question. When will we know that the engine is being lubricated correctly? So don't get confused. When will we know the engine is being lubricated correctly or incorrectly? It is here they are asking about the correctly. So when the oil indicator light is off, that means lubricated correctly. Engine is being lubricated correctly. If it is on, then you need to put some more oil in the engine. So here the option B is the right answer when the oil indicator light is off. As a general rule and in view of this sign, does a vehicle circulate correctly in the left lane if its speed is 70 km per hour?
Yeah.
Here you can see in the picture the left lane, the maximum permitted speed is 100 km per hour, and in the right lane it is 80 km per hour max. So normally in general you have to keep your vehicle on the right lane, and if you are driving at a 70 km per hour, you should drive in the right lane because the left lane is for the faster vehicles. So in view of this sign, if you are circulating at a speed of 70 km per hour, then it is not correct. You should be in the right lane. No, it would have to go in the right lane. B option is the right answer. What lateral distance should we leave when overtaking a pedestrian on a conventional road? Like here, you can see the lateral distance between the vehicle which is overtaking, that should be 1.5 meter minimum when we are overtaking a pedestrian on conventional road. So the option A is the right answer, 1.5 meters minimum. Should tire pressure be higher in summer than in winter? What do you think? It should be higher in summer than in winter? No. That should be same as recommended by the manufacturer, whether it is summer or winter. There should be no change in the tire pressure. So B is the right answer for this question. If our vehicle skids from the rear, what should you do? What should we do? For example, you are driving on a curve and you observe that your vehicle is skid from the back side. Rear means back. If your rear side is skid, you should do, let's read the option A, turn the steering wheel to the same side that the vehicle is skidding, in the same side where the vehicle skids. Turn the steering wheel to the opposite side to which the vehicle is skidding. Or keep the vehicle straight and brake hard. That is the wrong answer. C is not the right answer. For example, over here it is the left rear side is going to right. Now you have to turn your steering wheel also to the right. So in the same side, you have to turn your steering. In which side your rear of the vehicle is skidding. So the option A, turn the steering wheel to the same side that the vehicle is skidding, is the correct answer for this question. On this reduced visibility curve, there are no signs prohibiting overtaking and it is marked with discontinuous longitudinal mark. Is overtaking allowed? As we know, in case of reduced visibility, we are not allowed to overtake a vehicle. But here, as they are asking that it is a discontinuous longitudinal mark. So in that case, if you are not going to invert the opposite lane, you are not going to cross, for example, if it is two-wheeler and it remains in the same lane while overtaking, then it is allowed, otherwise it is not. If you are obliged to turn, if you are obliged to go in the left lane, then it is not allowed. Otherwise, you can do. So C option, no, if the opposite direction is inverted, is the right answer. What effects does alcohol have on the driver? A, an increase in reaction time. B, a decrease in reaction time. C, an increase in reaction capacity. I have explained you before that reaction time can never decrease. It will always increase. So capacity to react decrease. When the reaction time increase, our capacity to react decrease. So the option B and the option C are absolutely wrong. A option, an increase in reaction time, is the right answer. But whenever you drink alcohol, it increases your reaction time.
Switch off the TV.
When does the
Getting that from
prohibition
YouTube.
on driving at a maximum speed of 40 kilometers end? There you can see
Switch off
two vertical
the TV,
signs.
please.
One is of the danger
Okay,